Yep.
Then he said there is a paradise.
Yep.
Then he mentioned the last level of paradise called Firdaus.
Yep.
And he said above it is the throne of Allah.
Yep.
And above everything is Allah. So Allah's
Yes.
not in heaven.
And does it
That's
say
And your
also-
eyes.
Says- لا يا اخي لا خالد speak to him والله العظيم السلام عليكم Bob, that's it, man. Bob, that's it, man. I answered your question. That's it. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't want to be recorded, ikhwan.
I don't mind as long as this is not this is just a discussion. It's just, I need somebody who studied the Salafi Aqidah to have a chat with.
Yeah, but are you coming to a sincere person?
For one to say he is sincere is not sincere.
That's true, but you coming generally speaking to ask questions.
Take a look here, بالله.
أخي, أخي.
I just want an explanation of certain things because
Okay. Anwar. Okay, go on.
because certain people that come to the park, they claim to be upon the Aqidah of the Salaf Salih, but they're not, right? And from my understanding, I know that the group that you adhere to, S-Pubs, the people there who claim to be upon Salafiyah, so it's best to ask the people who do claim to be upon Salafiyah to find the answers, correct?
Okay, but are you, as I've mentioned, asking to learn or asking just for the sake of debating?
It's not debating.
Okay, just asking, or go on.
Can't debate in
And
the park.
let me clarify something.
Yeah.
People that have Spabs, by the way, Spabs is brothers in Birmingham, Salafi publication, okay? They are Muslim brothers, of course. He's a Muslim, yeah, he's a Muslim. So now just asking some questions, no problem. So these brothers, we are all together following the Salaf, but I'm not part of Salafi publication because they have their own quote unquote, maybe we can refer to as organization. It's organization, but you know, meaning that they have their own what they call it, their own shura. I'm from Dar Sunnah. They have their own shura, everything. But in Aqidah Manhaj, we are together.
You are together.
Okay, good.
Alhamdulillah. So, when the question is posed upon the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, the attribute that Allah has a hand,
Yeah.
for example, in the Salafi creed, the ma'na of yad is known, right?
The ma'na, yeah.
Okay, what is the ma'na then?
Okay, the hand. First of all, before we start this discussion, we have to lay down foundation.
Okay, no
It's not just say okay.
Inshallah.
First of all, that we do not understand about Allah better than Himself, and we do not understand about Allah better than the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we are Muslims. If we are a Muslim, we have to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He wants us to submit to Him. Okay? Allah revealed the Quran Arabic language. Okay? The origin of the Arabic language or the asl of any language is a dhahir, is the apparent meaning. Okay? And the dhahir, there's two types of dhahir. There is dhahir tarkibi or dhahir mufrad. Dhahir tarkibi meaning, for example, dhahir tarkibi when the context will explain the meaning of the word. Okay? And dhahir mufrad when the word by itself can be understood easily. Yeah? So that's when this is clear. That we affirm what Allah affirmed to Himself and what the Messenger affirmed for Allah without liking Allah to His creation, without changing the meaning, without resembling Allah, without distorting the meaning, likewise without saying how.
The kayfiyah.
The kayfiyah, because how belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah never told us. In order for us to know how, we have to know the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay?
Yes.
Now, when you say the meaning of the hand meaning to hold, to, I'm not saying like that with my hand, but to hold, to that's one of the meanings of the hands, of course. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned.
So what I want from you, Shamsi, is just to know
Yeah.
the ulama like Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, Bin Baz, Al-Albani, they
Yeah.
say the ma'na is known. We affirm the ma'na,
Yeah, which
but
is
not the kayfiyah.
Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen said the hands mean to hold. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ما قدر الله حق قدره والأرض جميعا قبضته يوم القيامة والسماوات مطويات بيمينه سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون. Yes, but without resembling to Allah.
So the ma'na of yad, according to
The language.
No,
No, the language.
So what is the ma'na that is affirmed? That's what I'm asking.
The literal hand
Literal,
belongs to
a
Allah.
literal hand. A
Yeah,
literal hand.
not the hand that like creation.
I know, I understand.
The hand that
I understand.
you grab with.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
The hand, oh no, yeah.
Thank you. This is
Yeah.
what I appreciate because
Yes.
the likes of Ali Dawah, he doesn't affirm it because
No,
he's-
Ali Dawud, don't ask him.
Yes,
You ask him
I
about
know,
boxing.
I know. That's
Yeah.
why I was
Ali
waiting.
Dawud is the president
I've been-
Salafiyah.
I've been waiting for you to
Inshallah,
ask
if you're
it.
sincere, I'm going to answer.
So if we delve deeper into the matter, so you've confirmed this apparent meaning, which is we all know and understand, is a hand, which is basically a limb in English language, right?
No, we don't say limp. No.
But
No,
that's
we
what a
don't.
hand is.
No, we don't use the term limp. This أعضاء, because the limp means عضو. أعضاء. We don't use this term. Okay. First of all, this term we don't use it. This term is not being used in the Quran. It's not being used in the Sunnah because a limp doesn't mean hand. Limp means عضو. Okay. أعضاء. You have أعصاب. All of that we don't use it. Now what we brother before? What's your name? Yusuf. Before we have to move on, do you affirm what Allah affirmed for Himself?
Of course.
Okay. So when Allah said that He created Iblis with His hand, what does that mean to you?
I make tafweed al-ma'na wa kayf. I don't know exactly, I don't know the kayfiyya and I don't know the ma'na. I just accept it. If Allah says it, Allah said it.
So therefore Allah in the Quran said, كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك لإيش؟ ليدبروا آياته وليتذكر أولو الألباب. When Allah revealed this book, Yusuf, Allah did not reveal it just just to follow without to know. You have to understand the meaning and reflect upon it. Because when Allah mentioned about Himself, for us to reflect upon the meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how powerful, you understand subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now, when you say that, okay, I do not affirm the meaning, so are you saying Allah revealed the Quran in a way people can understand? When Allah said to reflect upon the Quran.
Of course, but it's contextualized in the Arabic that was spoken at the time, right? Because the Fusha that was spoken then, nowadays the Fusha is not exactly the same, right? Just like many scholars relied upon
No, but it still exists.
Jahiliya poetry, right? Because the Arabic that they understood, just like we have different qira'at, right?
No, but the Arabic still exists.
Yeah, of course.
No,
The language is still there.
so Yusuf, listen to my point, sorry. My point that Allah, when Allah revealed the Quran, when He said for us to reflect upon it, that commandment, was it for back then or for the all Muslims? Okay, so when Allah referred to reflect upon the book, was it to reflect in some book or the whole book?
Obviously the whole book.
So what Allah is going to reveal some verses which we cannot understand the meaning of
But
it.
there are verses that we both agree upon that are from the mutashabihat, right?
Yeah, but Allah, what He said about the mutashabihat.
Tell me what He said.
Allah says, فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ زَيْغٌ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ مَا تَشَابَهَ مِنْهُ. And what is the way of al-ilm? They refer the mutashabih to the clear. Okay? And there's two types of mutashabih. There's mutashabih mean unclear, there's mutashabih mean resembles one another. Okay? So there's two types. Okay? So my point here is that the Quran, the foundation and the teaching, Allah will not reveal the verse without understanding the meaning. Mutashabihat mean, as the scholars Ibn Abbas said, the Quran, there is some verse, everyone can understand it. And there are some verses, the only scholars can understand it. However, no one should say there is verse, no one understand it. There is every verse in the Quran. If I don't understand it, there's someone else out there understand it. So my point to Yusuf, when Allah revealed the Quran and He commanded me and you and all of us to reflect upon it, He will not tell us to reflect upon something we don't understand the meaning of it.
What about Alif Lam Mim?
Okay, that's true. Good point. Alif Lam Mim. When you read the context, every time Allah mentioned the huruf al-muqatta'a, He will mention ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه صاد والقرآن ذي الذكر قاف والقرآن المجيد. If you go to Tafsir ibn Abi Hatim, and the scholars mention that the strongest opinion, which is authentic, that when the Arab pagans are pretending they don't understand the Quran anymore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showing them the huruf al-muqatta'a to show them this Quran is being reviewed in a language that you are utilizing and you speak. When the Prophet Muhammad challenged them to bring something like it, they start pretending they don't understand the Quran. So Allah said, Alif Lam Mim, meaning this Alif Lam Mim is the Arabic language that you use to speak. So Alif Lam Mim will understand what is the purpose behind it to be there. Okay?
The purpose, but the actual meaning we don't know.
It's a letters.
It's only with
No,
Allah.
it's a letters.
So
it's
you
huruf.
just believe it's just normal huruf and nothing
For-
else.
there's a
Just
reason-
to say, look, this
That's why you read the
okay.
context. So the context you
that-
understand the
that's
meaning.
a very interesting position.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never heard that
They read
before,
Tafsir ibn
actually.
Abi Hatim.
I've never heard of
Yeah.
that position
So my
before.
point here again, Yusuf, that when Allah tells us to reflect upon this Quran, yeah, this Quran, Allah will not tell, because why? you have to understand, Yusuf, Allah bless you. Yeah? We're not more jealous and more zeal to learn about the Quran more than the companions. Do you agree?
Obviously, the companions are obviously on a different level to us.
No, but do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
Agree to what? Say it
Do,
again.
do you agree that we are not, no one after the companions had more zeal to learn about the Quran?
course not.
Okay, so the companions, they used to ask verses about, for example, when the verse was revealed about those who mix dhulm, the ayah. الذين لم يلبسوا إيمانهم بظلم. They ask because they didn't understand the dhulm. They say, "Oh Messenger of Allah, which one of us never wronged himself?" He said, "No, the dhulm here is not making a mistake or something. No, the dhulm here is shirk. As Allah said about Luqman, He said, "Inna shirka la dhulmun azim." So they would have asked without any doubt about the meaning. You understand? Huh? Yeah, يسألونك, see. So the fact the companions never ask about it, therefore they understood the meaning. Because Allah will not tell us to reflect upon a book without understanding the meaning. So going deeper, brother Yusuf, that was one of the reasons that caused people to deviate. Going too deep. Okay, it has a part. Is it a part? Is it this? Is that? We leave it. Look, Allah knows about Himself, and the Messenger of Allah knows about Allah better than anyone else. And what we say, ألا تسجدوا لما خلقت بيدي. Ash'ira, they say power. Is that true?
Some Shia hold this position.
Ash'ira.
Some Ash'ira hold
Yeah.
this position. It depends what's obviously there's the early Ash'ira and there's the later one.
Yeah, but I'm saying, generally speaking, they say the quwwah, okay?
There is that position.
Yeah, that's a
called,
position, yeah. But this it cannot be used. Why, Yusuf? Because Allah created everyone with His quwwah. Allah created Iblis with His quwwah. Allah created mankind with His mashi'ah and His qudra. So Iblis could have said.
However, I'm not here to defend ta'wil. I'm not.
No,
here for that.
I'm just explaining to you. No,
I'm not
sorry.
here for that.
Yusuf, I'm explaining to you. Look to our understanding, our aqidah.
I understand.
How
I
clear?
Understand.
Understand?
But what I mean, so here's what I'm going to ask you now. Then, so if you accept the literal meaning as you take it, what is dahir from the ayah, right?
Yeah.
That Allah has hands. So you believe that these hands are unlike any of the creation, but we affirm that Allah has hands.
Yeah.
Two right hands.
Till now, there is a hadith, yes, two right hands,
Uh-huh.
but the scholars mentioned, read the context of the hadith.
And then with
No,
because
wait,
Dajjal
wait.
has one eye.
No, wait.
Allah has two eyes.
Wait, Yusuf.
Uh-huh.
The two right hands, even one of the major scholars of our time, Sheikh Salih al-Sheikh, may Allah preserve, he mentioned, he said, if you read the hadith, you understand the context. The hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu from the, that's why it's very important to understand the Arabic culture and the Arabic language and also the context behind it. Sometimes the context can be in the Quran or the Sunnah or the historical context or the culture context.
Yeah.
The Arabs used to believe the left hand is not blessed. And only the right hand is blessed. So when Allah said He has two hands, then Allah said two right hands mean both of them are what? Blessed.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand this.
So this ta'wil, because we make ta'wil, but which ta'wil? Ta'wil correct, ta'wil that is correct. Because why? وَمَا يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. So we make ta'wil because there's different types of ta'wil. There's ta'wil mean the meaning of it, and the ta'wil which is the outcome. Okay?
What about harwala then?
Harwala what?
To affirm that one of the sifat of Allah is that Allah runs.
Again, you see the hadith now. You go to the context. Okay? So what is the context of the hadith?
You want what my understanding?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
agree with that,
That's why
yeah.
if when I started, I made the principles.
Yeah.
There is الظاهر المفرد والظاهر التركيبي. So that's why some people Ash'ira they say you Salafis you claim you don't make ta'wil, but you do make ta'wil. We make ta'wil that which is called the context. So the hadith is speaking about when you make tawbah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Allah speaking about the tawbah. Allah speaking about the nawafil and the hands, all of that. So not literally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even some of them, they mentioned that in the way befit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you said, harwa like this? No. Because harwa we understand the meaning, but the kayfiyah. The kayfiyah. But I follow what Sheikh he said. He said the meaning of a tawbah.
So how do you then apply this usul
But to be honest,
in regards to the ayah about Yadain? How do you know that the context there, when you're making the ta'wil based on contextualism, how do you know that there
is
in
the
that
hands
spot you have to affirm the ma'na to be a literal hand?
That's a good point. Why? Because Iblis, because the hands, the only other meaning of hands that in Arabic language, which is the Sha'ir try to use, is the quwwah.
There's 27 meanings
No, but
according to one
I'm saying
dictionary.
no. I'm saying the Ash'ari try to use is the Quwwah. That's the one they use. Okay.
Not all of them have the
But,
basis
generally
on that.
speaking, give me another one who says from the early Ash'ari.
There's 27 possible
No, give me from the
opinions.
early Ash'ari who said the different than Quwwah.
Bayhaqi didn't give it to that will.
Bayhaqi to be honest, Ash'ari. He was affected by Ash'ari to begin with.
He was just slightly affected.
It was affected because you know the story of Bayhaqi was affected because when he said that Imam al-Qutni kissing the head of what's his name al-Baqalani and he was student and he went and studied under him and he was affected. Yes, okay. My point here, Yusuf, that if Allah meant to Iblis, why don't you prostrate to Iblis, to Adam, because I've created him with my power? Allah is mentioning something about Adam khas bihi, specific to him. But we know Allah created everyone with his quwwah. So here clearly the hands mean Allah created with his own hand. Likewise the hadith of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam.
So little hands.
The way befit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So we don't know how they look, we don't know the cave, but we have
Do you know Allah has hands? Do you know how Allah's essence look?
I don't know. Why would I know how Allah's hands look if I haven't met Allah?
That's what I'm saying. So why we are...
The
Okay,
question
wait.
I'm asking is just for your aqidah to be correct, you have to affirm that Allah has two literal hands or just one literal hand, and
I believe
about two right hands is just a contextualized meaning blessed hand.
Yusuf, I can see the now is getting tended to... my point was clear. That when we affirm Allah has a hand, yes, a real hand. The way befits His Majesty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Okay, now let me ask you this question. Do you believe Allah is alive?
Allah has a life.
Do you believe Allah is alive?
Alive.
Yeah.
حي.
Hay.
That's one of His names.
Hay.
Yeah.
Are you Hay?
The way I'm alive is completely different to the
Thank
way
you
Allah
very
is
much.
alive.
The way Allah has a hand and has this, the way we're different than us. خلاص. قضي الأمر الذي كنتم فيه تستفيدون.
There's one thing here that you mentioned.
No, but brother,
Because
no, Yusuf.
You're comparing
Yusuf.
the life of creation to be the original basis to be the same as Allah's, but it's
No,
different.
I didn't say that. No, I'm saying the asma. You are struggling. What does it mean, Hay?
The literal meaning is living.
Living. What does it mean, Allah Hay?
Allah is the living.
To take it literal.
But however, for you,
No,
we
do you
know
take-
in the English language when you
I don't speak
use the
English.
word
You talk about
living,
Arabic. Hay,
when
hay.
you use the word
Hay, hay.
living,
Allah said,
Okay.
خلقنا
how would you translate hay into English?
No, wait. Before Allah mentioned that, I'll give you another one, which is, Allah said about the insan, خلقناه سميعا بصيرا. Allah affirmed for Himself that He's سميعا بصير. Okay?
Yeah.
So both of them, that's Allah here.
Just told you He does.
He does. That's human hears.
Not in the same way as Allah.
No. What is the meaning of hearing? Conceiving the voices.
Not just voices, to be able to hear sound.
Yeah.
Because voices too vague.
Okay, no problem. You hear something, okay?
Yeah.
To hear something, okay? So that applies to Allah as well.
Allah can hear, yes.
Oh, okay, that applies to human as well.
Not in the same way, but yes, we can
In
hear.
this-
We can hear, and Allah can hear. But the hearing of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is nothing like our hearing.
It's perfect.
I understand-
Why? Because
I understand
they
what
send
you're
that.
saying.
So
Same
brother,
thing
Yusuf,
applies to the
no,
hand of
Yusuf.
Allah.
Yusuf.
Yeah, I understand.
Brother
What you're
Yusuf, easy. Look, because to be honest, I'm gonna leave you with the principles. Easy. Look how we Salafis, we don't go contradict ourselves. Easy. Allah, He mentioned that about the insan sami'an basira. He mentioned about Himself is sami' basir. You take both of them literal, but you still say they're not the same. So us taking the hands literal does not contradict, is not same as the human beings. So that's my point, and I hope that is clear. I have to go, inshallah.
You want to go? Okay.
Yeah, inshallah. Barakallahu
Maybe
feek.
next time we
Inshallah
can
ta'ala.
continue, inshallah.
What was I going to say? Which, can I give you a website to read?
Ash'ari.com, huh?
Yes, Abu Iyad.
I read it already.
So
Thank you.
as far you coming to ask questions, so if you,
Just
if I knew you read it,
to hear
خلاص.
Just to hear
خلاص,
it in
alhamdulillah.
person.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. All right, take care, Yusuf. Okay, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.